Okay, cool. Well, welcome, Bill Aubin. Great to have you here. Bill Aubin from Optive Commercial Capital. Where in the country are you right now, Bill?
Hey, Ian, thanks. Great to be with you this morning too. I am in Conifer, Colorado, which is just west of Denver, a little bit in the foothills. I mean, I'm still 25 minutes down to Denver, but 8,100 feet. Just got snow this weekend, so yay, winter.
You do look like you're in a cabin right now.
It is our Conifer chamber. My office is in our chamber building, and it is very rustic and very
Yeah,
Colorado-ish.
yeah, absolutely. It kind of almost looks like you're on vacation, but you're not because you live there.
Exactly.
So tell us a bit about yourself, Bill. I know obviously before you did our program, you were working as a commercial loan broker, in lots of different types of commercial lending. But even going back before that, what did you do before that you even got into that?
Absolutely, yeah. So for the last, oh God, prior to going into the financing industry, before that, I was in service and sales. I worked with a couple national companies across the country, did everything from customer relations to training to contract negotiation, you name it. The biggest customer I had that I'm most proud of was Coors. It's great to say Coors Brewery was one of my customers for
Okay.
many
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
You're probably familiar with them.
Uh-huh.
So we've been around the catacombs of that giant brewery. But so I worked with an awful lot of business people, learned to deal with relationships, managing people or leading people, let's say, working on relationships, things like that.
Yeah.
I did that well over 25 years and just got to be time for a change and have my wife's blessing, my family's blessing, started looking at opportunities, franchises, businesses, found out how hard it was to get commercial funding. And that was really the catalyst for me providing that opportunity for other people that are in the same situation. So
So was it kind of like you were looking for a lifestyle change or looking for like an income change or like what was it you were looking for?
no, the great question. A little bit of both. I mean, and nothing bad. I won't talk about people that aren't here to defend themselves, but kind
For
of the
sure.
company
Yeah.
was going in one direction, and it just didn't have the allure. It didn't have the feel good cliche anymore of I want to love what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And sitting around the dinner table at night when I was telling my kids I had a great day, I was like, all right, I'm lying to you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
have a great day. It was a challenge. And I still have a great relationship with them, but really I just wanted to do something different. And I researched this opportunity and talked to as many people as I could in the field. I wasn't a networker at the time. I was kind of an introvert in the sense that things that you change when you make a lifestyle change, but really not just a financial change. But my kids were getting a little bit older, they were getting ready to start high school. I realized how much time I was putting in for what I was doing to semi not be happy, to not be not ever be able to take off more than 1 week at a time, ever, no
Yeah.
matter what,
And
no matter how much vacation I had accrued. I could never take off that much time
yeah.
at the level that I was at. And I just really wanted to explore other options.
Yeah. Just have a nicer work-life balance, I guess, right?
Yeah, you said it, Kai. You're much better than me. I just expand forever because I'm thinking about it as I'm answering. But yeah, that really sums it up. Ian, what you said.
Yeah. Okay. So you started doing commercial loan brokering, so all types of commercial financing. I do know this about your background. So, and then what made you kind of think, okay, I'd like to get more into the residential investment loan brokering space?
Yeah, great question. I got spoiled. I was doing a lot of the SBAs and startups, as acquisitions, things, working capital. I got semi spoiled or blessed, depending on how you say it, with a really good bridge transaction. It was a realtor came to me and it was an $8 million loan and it went through and I was ecstatic. I'm like, wow, I want to focus on real estate. It just makes sense. As that as I transitioned more and more into meeting those types of people and marketing myself to realtors and things, that's when I really started getting more into the investment properties and learning about. Here, let's take it back a little bit. I used to dread. I'm like, oh, I hope nobody asks me about fix and flips or funding or rentals and very. I didn't want to be asked about that because I was scared. I didn't have the answers. I didn't have the
Yeah.
I would have to be very creative with my answer to say I don't know, but I could find out. And
Yeah.
it really became, I was getting asked more and more about that. Those were the questions I was getting from realtors, investors, contractors, the people that we deal with. Um, So I really wanted to just increase my knowledge. Okay, is this a career path? And I jokingly would tell people the business is going in this direction. I'm like that cartoon character going. Well, I was young. I won't date yourself. But you know, the horse is going in this way, and you're digging your heels in, and the business is going over here.
Yeah.
Well, people are asking me about investments and rental properties and land and ground up, and I didn't know. But obviously, when those are the questions that you're asking, those are the things that you need to have the answers for. So that was really the catalyst to get me moving in that
Okay.
direction.
So would you say then your most challenging thing in kind of getting more niched into this space wasn't, I guess, from what you're saying, it wasn't finding clients, because it sounds like a lot of people coming to you. It was more the product knowledge and how to structure those loans and what lenders to work with and that side of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's kind of one of those things where you have to, it's like the job and the experience. You need a job to get experience. You need experience to get the job. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I had the
Yeah.
questions. I didn't have the answers. I didn't have the resources. I mean, I have my commercial lenders that I had a relationship with, but I didn't know who to go to for this. Who do I ask? And I didn't want to sound, you know, naive, like I'm a first time person in the industry. I didn't want to
Uh-huh.
be, okay, explain this to me, you know, to the lenders, because that's an uncomfortable place to be. So it was really, how do I get the answers? How do I trust somebody to tell me what it is that I need to do and build rapport and build relationships and come across as having the answers? I want to be a solution. I want to be a resource. I want to be trusted. And as hokey as
Yeah.
it sounds, it is relationship based. You're dealing with
Yeah.
people's money and you're dealing with their time. You have to be trusted advisor.
Yeah, yeah. I talk about that all the time. It's all about building relationships, being a consultant, being an advisor, being a resource. Yeah, not thinking
Absolutely.
transactionally about clients. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
So then our program that you did, the Hard Money and DSCR loan broker program, what did it help you with then? How, what were the benefits of it, let's say?
No, that's great. And again, I'll go back to another colloquialism. With competence comes confidence, and with confidence comes competence. And I really felt like I I learned so much more. You know, just the questions. Here's what you need to ask. Here's what you need to know. You need to know what type of loan it is. What's important to the client is first and foremost the most important thing you need to find out. You know, what are their sensitivities? Is it to rate? Is it to time? Is it to really just even explaining them to them that it's not a traditional rate like you think of, in the sense of here's how much the money's going to cost, but really all the other things that go into it. It's a very basic application that you have to get the answers that you need to know. And then I can be a resource. I can give them several different options. And this one might fit their box. This one might fit, you know, but I'm not going to waste their time. I'm going to already be able to narrow it down from, let's say, I don't know, 10 lenders, let's hypothetically, and get it down to the 2 or 3 that might be the right one. I wouldn't have that knowledge. I would not know how to do it. And I don't want to shop their loan around to every lender in the country, that kind of thing. Just really put it in a, I don't know, kind of a linear progression, in where you start with the big answer and you funnel it down to, okay,
Yeah.
here's the loan program for you. And then just to answer the questions, this is what this means. This is how a draw is. This is Dutch interest. You know, everything that we learn, but to be able to put that into, so to speak, layman's terms and
Uh-huh.
explain to them. Because sometimes you get that first time borrower. Sometimes it's a very experienced borrower. So that you kind of, I say we adjust a little bit. You know, we adjust how we present the information to them based on what their experience is.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. And then the lenders that we provide in the program, which, obviously I told you when you did the training, they're all lenders that we ourselves use in our own brokerage every day. So,
Mm-hmm.
we're using what we're giving, for want of a better
Yep.
term. I'm not as good at my colloquialisms as you are. Um,
I practiced.
so those, yeah, right. So those lenders that we provide you in the program, has that worked out? Have you got, have they been great to work with? Not just the lenders in terms of their products, but the account executives that are the connections at those lenders. Like, how's that experience been?
Oh my gosh, I can't say enough about them. And really, that has just been really overwhelming. And just, and this is not just for, publication. This is a true story. Last week, I reached out to someone I hadn't talked to in a little while, and I had one that fit in his box. He called me back probably 15 minutes. 15 minutes later, after I called him, said, "Hey, sorry, I apologized." He was on the phone with another client, and he said, "Yeah, I haven't talked to you in a while, but I want you to know you're our first priority. We deal with the N all the time." And we know you took his course, so you're instantly grandfathered in. And he didn't use those words. I can't remember how he phrased it, but it was something like, he just made me feel so important. I'm like, wow, I haven't talked to this person in, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 weeks. I haven't, but just instantly, hey Bill, how you doing? How's everything going? This, that, and the other. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is wonderful. And I've had that repeatedly with numerous times. And none of my questions are, they never look at me like I don't know what I'm doing, or like I'm new, or like I'm not experienced or anything. Because they know I come to them, I already have the basic knowledge, but sometimes I want to make sure, cross T's, dot I's. The portals have been so user friendly that every single form I can need, I mean, I don't bug you near as much as I used to way back when, because now I have the information, I have the tools. So I don't know
But
if
that
that was
comes with time.
designed.
Yeah, too. I mean, part of what we offer obviously is after you go through the training, you get access to the portal and the resources and access to me as a mentor
Yep.
we say it as for a lifetime, but the reality is when someone goes through the program, I get a lot of calls and texts and emails looking for help and advice and direction for that first period of time. But obviously over time, as you're doing it yourself and brokering your own loans and I'm answering the questions, you're getting better and better. So over time, I kind of stop hearing from people. So it's
Right.
nice to do something like this and catch up when, I might not have talked to you for a while, because now you're just really good at it and you don't really need my help anymore,
Exactly. No, you said it exactly right too. It's like, oh, I feel bad. I miss you. I don't talk to you anymore. But no, I love that, there's still times where I'll reach out to you, and it might be, hey, what's the best rate for this today? Or this is a little bit outside what I'm comfortable with being. Can you help me? And I've reached out. Oops, excuse me. I'm sorry. I know better than that. But even other people that were in the class, I connect with them, and sometimes it might be something that it's like, hey, I know you've dealt with this person. What do you recommend here? And that alone has just been an incredible resource to meet other professionals that are doing what we do.
Yeah, nice. It's important to have that broker community,
Yes, exactly. And there's sometimes someone might ask me something just about the geographic location. Someone that's in Texas knows that I'm in Colorado, so we might have something to talk about there. So that, I mean, and there's an unsung benefit of the course that, you don't even go into. And of course, there's everybody else that we know and we've met. But I really, really, really feel like the information has been there's just not a lot of questions anymore. I mean, there's still the things that come up from time to time that I haven't been exposed to, but I really think that you could go into this with no financial background, it's not like I don't have the experience to do this. I've never dealt with numbers before. Well, here's the process. Number one, it's relationship based, and here's the information that you're going to need. And here's the questions that you're going to ask, and they're going to give you the right outcome. I guess is probably the best way to say it. So.
Yeah, it's definitely a career that you don't necessarily have to have experience in, for sure. I mean, I myself was in the restaurant business. I didn't have any experience in financing. So, yeah, for sure. So let me ask you this then, and be straight up. In terms of brokering, so these types of loans specifically, so investment real estate loans, DSCR loans, hard money loans, what do you like and what do you dislike about brokering loans in this space?
No, that's great. And I think that kind of goes back to why I transitioned my business a little bit more into going into this direction. What I like about it is it's very straightforward. It's tangible. It's not, an SBA loan where you need 90 pages of documents, hair type, blood sample, that kind of thing. Here's the property. Here's the borrower. That's it. I mean, there's not a lot else that goes to it. There's not a lot of gray. Either the property is a fit or it's not. Either the borrower is a fit or they're not. I mean, yes, of course we can, put things in the best light that we possibly can, but at the same time, it's just a very straightforward thing. And then what's the biggest challenge, I think, is really just the waiting. And it's not for the borrowers, it's not for it's not for the lenders, not for the transactions, but sometimes it's just the borrowers. They have a business to run, they have other properties they're looking at, they have their day-to-day things. And sometimes I'm just all amped up. I want this to go through. I've got a great opportunity for them. How come you haven't signed yet? Where's my, but I think that's the nature of what we do. I don't ever want to feel like a borrower is waiting on me. I want to make sure that if anybody's waiting for anything, it's me waiting for them, and I like to have my Friday follow-ups or my touches or my every other day or whatever that looks like, because once this process gets started, I think we can be I think sometimes we almost hurt ourselves because we come back with numbers very, very quick. And I think sometimes they're not ready for me to get an offer, to get a term sheet in front of them. They didn't know.
They're not used to being treated like that. That's the thing.
Thank you. Yeah. They got something in a couple of hours. They were expecting a week or two. They're not ready yet. I'm like, that's good though. I want to be that person. So I think.
You're right. It's good to have. Sorry to cut across you, but it's good to have a situation where you're waiting on them and they're not waiting on you or the lender, for sure. You know, and I'm like that too. I'll generally send one touch or one follow-up and just kind of say, hey, look, there's no rush from my end, you know, just part of my job here is to keep this moving. And, you know, maybe, oh, I'm getting concerned the rate lock that we have might expire or whatever it might be. But at the end of the day, it's on them to respond to you. So yeah, that can be frustrating for sure. I get it. I mean, if that's the most frustrating thing or the thing you dislike the most about brokering these loans, I mean, you're doing pretty well.
And I love that though too. It's such a great feeling to know, okay, it's not me shopping this. It's not me trying to figure it out, or not me trying to learn, oh my goodness, how do I do this, that, or the other? It's like, no, I've already got this. I understand. Now, if you want to change some things or we need some other things to happen, that's great. I'll work with you through that too. But I love how you put it. Just so you're not waiting on me. I've done what I need to do. Is there anything I need to be doing on my end? So
yeah, like that. For sure. So what, I mean, let's talk brass tacks. So since you did our program, what's been your biggest success story so far? Tell us about a deal maybe or something.
Yeah, no, and there's two. One is a little more general. This isn't a specific that I can say, but to be able to go to, you know, we go to networking events, we go to various type things, we get invited to places, we talk, we get to present. You know, sometimes it's I've been invited to talk to a room full of realtors. I've been invited to talk to a room full of brokers, a room full of lenders, various type things, or I'm sorry, borrowers. To have the comfort level to be able to answer those questions and to be able to talk knowledgeably and tailor how I'm talking, my presentation, be it a, you know, whatever type group I'm talking to, whatever platform it is, but to be able to tailor it to that and not be afraid of, oh, I hope they don't ask me about you know, how long to close or what are the rates or what's this look like or, you know, all those type things, but to be able to really have that confidence and knowledge and not feel like it's a sales pitch. I'm a resource. Ask me whatever you want. Here's what I can do. I don't compete with banks. I mean, in the direct sense, I have banks that come to me because they can't do what I can do. Especially now, I have a lender. You absolutely know because I talked to you about that transaction, and she's actually a lender here in Colorado, and she wanted to fund something across the country, and she came to me. It's like I can't ask for a better testimonial when an actual lender in the residential space, and now she's got me all over her Facebook page. Call Bill, call Bill, call Bill, call Bill, and I'm like, okay, I can't ask for anything else. So I think that's kind of one success that's come out of it, where I've become that much more comfortable and let my business transition into that focus, I guess. You know, that's the next step. And then individually, yeah, we've closed quite a few loans that I'm very happy about. I won't get into numbers and commissions. Sometime talking about money that you make is a personal thing, but let's just say the class has paid for itself over and above. And if you, I think I probably owe you a drink or a few next time we get together. We'll leave it at that. But no, I just had a call this morning from one this gentleman reached out to me 3 weeks ago, very experienced borrower. He was referred to me by a commercial lender who only does $10 million up deals. And she said, hey, I don't know who to send you to because we only do 10 million and up, but I have this person that I want you to talk to. Spokane, Washington, great property, great borrower, great everything. 2 weeks ago, he gave me all his info and I hadn't talked to him since. I already, you know, reached out, got a great offer, but it's $1 million home, or I'm sorry, it's a 1844. The home was built and it was turned into, they completely down the studs, completely regutted it, redid everything to it, turned it into four different doors in this giant home. But to be able to come to someone that's extremely experienced, his lowest property in his portfolio, I think, is 17 million. So he's never done anything like this even. Wow. And but to be able to get back with him right away and say, I've got this, and I just got the approval this morning. I'm waiting on one more piece of paper from him. But that's exciting. Just $1 million home. And for him, it's, I don't want to say trivial. It's not, but it's not what he usually deals with. But to be able to give him that level of satisfaction and to be referred by a $10 million and up, it's just an incredible feeling just to know, okay, I can play in this space. I can talk to these people. I can do all this type things. And I don't have to be, who do I go to? Who do I talk to? Who's my resource? Who's my lender? So I've got that information. I've got my checklist. I've got my documents, my resources. I can always revert back to what I learned in class. And it's still right there. It's in front of me. And you're wonderful. I don't want you to get a big head here. But no, I mean, I appreciate you constantly following up with, hey, the rates changed over here, or the parameters changed, or this person we've added to our lender. I mean, you've done such a great job. It's not like you take the class and then off you go, go succeed, my son. But it's an ongoing thing, and I really, really appreciate that. And just, the information from yourself, the other people in the class, the lenders, I feel like I'm constantly updated, and I never get the sense of this has changed. You need to know about it. I just love that. That's
Yeah,
an
that's good. No,
unsung bonus.
yeah, we talked about that earlier. The broker community is really important. I don't, a lot of people ask me why when I own a brokerage and run a brokerage, why do I train other brokers? Because surely that's taking business away from my brokerage, but I don't look at it like that at all. I don't view it as competition. When I was in the restaurant business, I never viewed the restaurant next door as competition. I felt that was a good thing. We can all learn from each other. We can all help each other. And I think that that community we have on Slack, that network we have for people that went through the program, where we can chat and I can update you guys on lender guidelines and programs are changing and products, and you guys ask questions. I think that's fantastic. It just, everybody helps everybody, which is really important. So last question I'll have for you would be, for someone, not necessarily my program, not necessarily that, for someone that's thinking of getting into investment real estate, loan brokering, what advice would you give them? Whether they're totally new to this as a career, financing, or whether maybe they're like you and they've done a different type of financing and want to kind of focus on this. Again, this isn't a lead in for you to discuss my program necessarily. Just in general, what advice would you give someone?
No, that's great. I think absolutely, use your due diligence, talk to people. Because I've talked to other people and was not near as impressed with what they had to offer, what they had to say. And much before I became even got started in the commercial financing, I reached out to as many people as I could and asked them, what are the challenges? What do I need to be aware of? What do I need to learn to do to be a little more extroverted, to be able to talk, to be able to be knowledgeable? But your due diligence. Just really reach out, talk to yourself, talk to people like myself that have gone through it and that have learned and that started here and made the transition and have got to here. I think that's probably the biggest thing that you can do, though, is really just to be informed. Find out what are the options, what is it that you want to do, and then find out what you need to do to get there. It's really, start from the answer. Here's what I want to do. I want to do this. And then how do you get there? But I've talked to, like I say, so many residential realtors, residential lenders, commercial lenders, realtors. They just don't focus on this. So it's not a real big thing. But to be able to be a resource and to be able to say, I can do so many different things, so many places across the country. I've had investor groups reach out that are very, very familiar or experienced with certain types of lending, but they don't know anything about this. They're into their storage facilities or their ATMs or their debt or their equity, or what it is. But to be able to be a resource and actually have a conversation with them and tell them, oh my gosh, here's what you need to be able to do, and you need to be aware of these opportunities. So I think from a broker standpoint, it's just great to have the info, to have the knowledge. And you referenced even the Slack channel. It's great we can see other people's successes and just talk about what questions do people have. And I love that ongoing sense of connection. It's not like I'm alone. Hey, what are you struggling with? Or what's a success? Or how do you generate leads? Or who do you meet? Where do you go? Someone else has already done it. Don't reinvent the wheel. It's already out there. That information is there. There's a way to be successful.
Yeah, no, for sure. And, loan brokering, and honestly, not any, but a lot of self-employed entrepreneurship roles, careers, work at home type stuff, it can be lonely. Loan brokering can be lonely because you're behind your desk a lot. You might be in your house like you are, like I am right now, and obviously we're getting off our ass and we're going networking and meeting investors and all that stuff. But, your day-to-day can be like that. So it's good to, again, not focusing on my program, but in general, just tap into the broker community, whether that be joining Facebook groups or whatever. Just get that connection with other brokers in your own community and around the country. Go for lunch with someone. If you hear someone in your community that's also a broker in any form of lending, go get coffee, go get lunch, just, spitball, chat. Yeah, I think it's really important.
Absolutely. And one thing on that, I have locally a residential lender, and she's approached me about a ton of other opportunities. She just wants to use me for is not the right way, but wants to present them to me, in various types of investing that she's looking at doing. And it's everything from, down payments to earnest money to HOAs to, how can you help people that are in a certain situation? And she's really picking my brain only because I was able to help her with a couple of her clients that she couldn't fund. And now all of a sudden I've got some other opportunities and some things to explore,
Nice.
which is just incredible. I never expected that to be, something that came out of this. So that's been a nice, just other, you're just introduced to amazing people all the time. And like you say, I, go out, have a coffee, pick their brain, let them pick yours. People that are in the funding world understand the 3 C's. My 3 C's when I meet someone for the first time is coffee, cocktail, or call. How do you want to meet? And it's going to be one of those 3 C's, and that's it. Beyond that, it's up to you. So that's another one. You can use that one. I'll let you.
I like that one. I like that. I'm trying to think of 3 B's for me, because where I live, I could do beer, beach, or something. I don't know. I'll think of another.
I like it. That's good. You'll come up. I'll work on that today. I'll try to come up with another B for you.
Well, look, thank you, Bill, for your time. I really appreciate it. It's good to catch up as always. Good to connect, and great to hear you're doing so well. I'm really happy about that.
Excellent. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the time to sit and talk about it, and really for everything, just the information that you've given me and shared, and of course your friendship and being a resource. It goes a long way, and I really appreciate it as well. So
awesome.
Happy to talk to if anybody does inquire, I'd be more than happy. They can connect with me, LinkedIn, email. Happy to chat about my experience offline. Can't say enough good things, but sometimes it's nice to have a one-on-one and let people do a question thing. So
super. I appreciate that, Bill. All right. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it. You as well.
All right.